Nvidia revealed the RTX 2080 at the Gamescom conference in all its ray tracing glory. So is it time to sell your old graphics card and pre-order the latest from the green team? My thoughts on this, coming up. With all these amazing numbers being thrown around by Nvidia, they really want you to believe Pascal, the GPU architecture from the 10 series, is now obsolete garbage for gaming. Turing, the GPU architecture for these new 20 series cards, is 10x that of Pascal, with tensor cores. Look at this, the old GTX 1080 Ti is less than 20 trillion RTX ops, and the new RTX 2070 has more than 40 trillion. Cool, but what does this all mean? Honestly, Nvidia has left a lot to be desired when it comes to getting a clear picture on how much faster games will run with Turing. The only thing I can use to make a guess on the raw performance gains is the Unreal Engine 4 tech demo Infiltrator that they showed. The Nvidia CEO said on a non-specified Turing card that Infiltrator ran at 4K DLSS at 78 frames per second, whereas on a GTX 1080 Ti running at 4K TAA, as the CEO said, it runs at 30-something frames per second. So not an apples to apples comparison, considering that TAA and DLSS are different anti-aliasing technologies, and anti-aliasing meaning that you're reducing the jagged edges and you're trying to have a smooth picture. But with the deep learning version in the conference images, it does look much better than TAA. So that's a little over 2 times the performance at 4K. Not sure what kind of performance gains we can expect at 1440p or 1080p, but this morning I watched a video where someone has their 1080 Ti overclocked to 2038 MHz and they were running the Infiltrator 4K maxed out, according to that person, because they didn't show the initial settings setup, but that overclocked 1080 Ti was running around 60 frames per second. So that is not actually 2 times performance once you just put on a little overclock. Now Nvidia is heavily pushing real-time ray tracing, their RTX technology, and to try to break this down to my non-gamer audience, basically lighting, how shadows are casted, reflections in games have a lot of artistry behind it. It's like painting on a canvas. You have this 2-dimensional picture, it's flat, but to make it look more realistic, the artist had to add shadows and lighting to create some depth. Not even sure if I should say the word rasterization. Okay, take a look at this example. You have a window with a light source from the outside. Let's just say it's the sun. Only the game objects directly in the light source's path is lit in this room, being the table and part of the floor. Now, game designers have to add more light sources to fake or simulate how this room would be lit correctly by the sun, as seen here. And this is to the best of the game designer's ability. Now, using real-time ray tracing, there's no need to add additional light sources to fake the room being lit from the window. Once they have coded these objects to respond a certain way with different light sources, the physics built into the game will dictate the lighting, shadows, and reflections. Basically, lighting will be created automatically. This looks even cooler in the Battlefield 5 demo of RTX. Look at the flame reflection on the car. The source of the reflection, being the fire, is blocked by the tank. But with ray tracing, that doesn't matter. Now, the old way, without RTX, when graphic designers use other methods of reflection, the fire must be visible on the screen in order for a reflection to appear on the car. What is even cooler and more than just visuals is the real-time reflections in the window. You can see other buildings, other objects reflected in real time versus the cube maps that faked reflections in the past. I can see this actually assisting players of Battlefield 5 in viewing enemy characters that are attacking you from the side. They don't have to be displayed right in front of you for you to know that they are next to you. This is improving on game immersion. Okay, side note, DICE, and to a certain extent Nvidia, because this video is on your YouTube page, the official Battlefield 5 RTX trailer, they show off all this ray tracing goodness, but then you have your game objects clipping. You have your gun model clipping through your character model. Come on, guys. So this technology is nice, but what is the performance hit using ray tracing versus having RTX turned off? If you follow my reviews on this channel, I try to find the best tech I can get on a budget. So I'm interested in the GTX 2060. Will that have enough power to handle ray tracing? Also, how quickly will we see this technology become the norm within game design? because if the objects in the games aren't coded to respond to different light sources in a realistic manner, so if the physics are off, then game designers will have to continue using artistic means to fake the look. And sure, ray tracing would save a lot of development time if game designers didn't have to worry about lighting, shadows, and reflections, but can current game consoles handle this ray tracing decently? What about Pascal Nvidia hardware and all the AMD graphics cards currently out? Game publishers want people to buy and play their games as much as possible. So I don't see the use of RTX becoming mainstream this card cycle if you can only enjoy these features with a 20 series card. The technology will need a few years to become the industry standard. So the question still left by Nvidia, what is the raw frames per second performance upgrade you get with Turing versus Pascal in the current games we play? It's a little alarming that Nvidia didn't hype these numbers like they would in the past, so as a gamer, I'd hold off on pre-orders until we really see what the raw performance gains are, especially considering the conflicting prices at the moment. At the conference, the cheapest RTX offering, the 2070, was announced as $499 US, but pre-orders on the Nvidia site have the Founder Edition being sold for $599. So I try to inform you guys of the best performance you can get on a budget with tech, and if the FPS performance difference isn't really a big leap, I might suggest purchasing a reduced price 10 series card over a 20 series in the near future, but time will tell. From a non-gamer standpoint, I was impressed with the technological power these RTX cards will offer, seeing how all the processors within the Turing architecture interact to perform different tasks, seeing the Clara technology take a low-resolution CT scan and upgrade it and segment the different body parts with different colors. This is awesome news for the medical field. Animators can take a sketch and turn it into a 3D model. All impressive stuff. Anyways guys, what did you think of the new Nvidia RTX cards? Let me know in the comments below. Now the next big conference I'm looking forward to is Photokina coming next month with so many mirrorless cameras rumored from Canon, Nikon, Sony, and Panasonic. If you're interested in camera gear and other tech, click that subscribe button and notification bell, and smash that like button while you're at it. And I'll see you guys next week.